was like, God, it's such a risky endeavor. It's so dangerous because you're going to get hit. It's not like anything else. Like even in skiing, like falling down and hitting your head like that is kind of rare. Like it only happened to me once or all the years that I was skiing. But getting hit in the head happens every time you spar. Unless you're like so exceptional and Willie Pep, you're fucking Pernell Whitaker out there.
Universally, and as I say, if it can't be applied, if logic can't be applied universally, it's not logic, it's propaganda. And so we'll explain that where they want conservatives to be punished for anything they say, even if you're Donald Trump on January 6th and say peace, even if you're Alex Jones on January 6th and say peace, they still say you cause violence even though you call for peace. They literally call for violence, it causes violence, and they say it's still your fault, not ours, because you made these people violent. But I want to explain something, because I don't want you to waste your time here like people that watch Rachel Maddow or CNN. So you need to have an understanding. It's like going into a classroom and knowing this is math or this is English or what have you. We wear a lot of hats here at InfoWars, whether it's in the crew and all the different skills and dynamic abilities they have, or whether it's me. I do talk shows. I do on-the-street interviews. I do activism. But one of the hats that I wear, because I know that there is a young audience listening, and in fact, I mean, there's young members of the media that reach out to me for advice. One did earlier today. I'm honored by that. So something that the youth needs to understand if you're tuned into this, I don't want to tell you what to think about politics. You can use the world around you, your experience, and the facts that we discuss here on air to decide what you agree with or what you don't. But you need to understand something. The leftist liberal ideology is built on lies. The leftist ideology on how to run civilization is built on death. And you just need to know that. So when you see this leftist trans cult push, it's not about lacking empathy. It's not about being cold-hearted. It's understanding what it is. It's understanding that it's propaganda. It's understanding that it's a lie. And standing up to that does not make you a bad person. And it's a lot harder, I think, when you're young and you still have the idea of the popularity contest and wanting everybody to like you, or maybe you do or say something because you think that girl you have a crush on will like it or what have you. But no. It's okay to stand up against lies. It's okay to reject propaganda. That does not make you a bad person. So when I talk about propaganda and leftist, liberal, Democrat Party propaganda, that's so you recognize it, you see it, and you won't be conned by it, like so many young people are. Now, putting that aside, I have an example of the following things today. The Nashville school shooter clearly motivated in some way, shape, or form by leftist politics and propaganda. I have multiple examples of this. From the activist level to the media level to the Democrat Party level. At every single level, this propaganda is being amplified. And there is no doubt it had an impact on the Nashville shooter yesterday. And I will show you the different examples. I will also show you a brief history of this and where it's going. Now, in having this debate, we have to realize two things. One, the left is no longer, just like the world doesn't even think about the U.S. anymore under Joe Biden and is totally moving on. We're going to be the ones having these debates. It's going to be conservatives. It's going to be the populists. It's going to be the Trump supporters. The left is gone. They're not having real debates. They're not even being honest with themselves. They can't be honest with us. We're not going to have an honest debate. So you're going to see these debates on the conservative side of the aisle. You probably already are. Should we have red flag gun laws? Should transgender people be able to own gun laws? You're going to have a big debate on this Patriot Act for the internet is what it's being called, the TikTok ban. So we have to realize that we're the adults in the room having the real civil discussions about how we want to move our country forward, and all the left nonsense has to just be completely ignored. Cannot be taken seriously. They're not having real debates. They're not being honest with themselves. They're not being honest with us. They're not being honest with children. It's over. They're done. And we're the majority. We're the adults in the room. It's time to start acting like it. But to sit here and say that we have to ban trans people from getting guns is also not the answer. Because now we would be going against our own values, our own principles, and the very documents we claim to hold sacred, like the Bill of Rights. So if you want to have red flag laws that stop a mentally ill person from getting a gun, well then, okay, now you can talk about, is somebody that's transgender or goes to a doctor to chop their private parts off mentally ill? The answer would be yes. So technically you could argue that laws are already on the books to stop a transgender person from getting a gun, and what do you know? The laws didn't work again. So that's not the answer here. That's not the answer here. But getting the answer to this question of why this deranged lunatic went and shot up kids is not